How much time do you spend on your phone? Let me ask you, how many hours a day do you think you spend looking like this? Maybe scrolling through Twitter, checking the latest tweets, maybe even getting your news off of Twitter, looking at Instagram to see what your friends have posted recently or what you're tagged in, or looking at Snapchat and answering people back, or now maybe even spending hours upon hours on TikTok, because I'm guilty of doing that. Every night I go to sleep checking my phone, while every morning I wake up and check my phone. My point here isn't to talk about why being on our phones has been very addictive, but rather how using our phones, and more specifically using social media, has done a lot of damage to humans. Using social media on a daily basis has resulted in social media affecting self-esteem, mental health, and overall happiness in humans. As of 2020, 74% of Facebook users ages 18 to 49 are checking the app daily, while 63% of Instagram users also check their app daily, and those are ages 18 to 29. Considering how many people in the entire world are using these apps, that's a lot of interaction with just one app. So why is this a priority? Well, to put it more simply, it just affects our brain and our happiness. I watched the movie The Social Dilemma, and I highly recommend it, first of all. But anyways, as the movie sparked my interest in this topic, when I had to write this paper, it was about former social media employees like Google, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, any social media platform you can think of. And they talked about how addictive, manipulative, and destructive technology has become to humans, which was never its initial intent. Everything that we like, what we do, what we say, and who we are as individuals is actually the product of every platform that we use. Think about the memes that we talk about on a daily basis, or the certain phrases we use because it went viral. Even the clothes that we wear are very influenced by what is trending on Instagram. The main thing social media has done to us has hurt our self-esteem through social comparison. How often do you sit on your phone and compare yourself to another person? Oh, they look so happy. Oh, wow, they're so pretty. Wow, that's such a cute outfit. Wow, they get to travel everywhere and probably get paid for it. Often we do it without realizing, and next thing we know, we're probably put into a pretty bad mood. Well, there's a thing such as upward and downward comparison. Upward comparison is when we compare ourselves to someone that is probably above us in some way, which is kind of what I was just giving you as an example. So for you to compare yourself to maybe a model, or a pro athlete, or a genius. Downward comparison is when you compare yourself to someone that you think is probably a lower status than you in some way to make yourself feel better. So, put it together, upward comparison gives you lower self-esteem, whereas downward comparison gives you higher self-esteem. Think about how much this has changed since social media came along. Before, it was completely normal to compare yourself to another person when you had a physical interaction with them. But now, we do it every time we open up an app. This leads me to the idea of appearance-related social media consciousness, or ASMC, which is how often we think about how attractive we look on social media. It's a weird concept to think about, so let me break it down. This is basically how does my profile look to my followers? Or does this picture look like I'm living my best life to show off to my followers? Yes, it's a thing. And 99.7% of college women ages 18 and 19 at the University of Pittsburgh said that they either almost always or always use this concept of ASMC. Psychology of Emotion has a chapter called Happiness. And it talks a lot about social comparison that I had just touched on. But it also talks about affective forecasting. Affective forecasting is where people generate predictions about the emotional effect in their futures. For example, in context with this whole topic that I'm talking about, people often predict that posting a picture will make them feel happy because it'll give them likes, it'll give them some comments, and it will give them a hit of dopamine. But that dopamine hit is temporary and will soon fade, and it ends up never truly satisfying us as much as we think that we will be satisfied. The book explains the reality of affective forecasting, and it's that we're not as good at forecasting our emotions as much as we think we are. A way that we sabotage our accuracy of effective forecasting is through social comparison, which I had already touched on, and it goes back to that idea of upward and downward comparison, which widely affects our self-esteem as humans. Striving to become happy only leads to more situations that allow us to compare ourselves to others, meaning more positive, as in, I'm better than them, or more negative, I'm not good enough, emotions. We tend to ignore the important activities like savoring, gratitude, mindfulness, and more that give us genuine happiness to spare time for something that gives us temporary happiness through social comparison, an increase in likes, comments, and or followers. As you sit there scrolling through your phone like this, consider social media as an influence to our everyday lives. Consider the aspects of daily life, thoughts, and decisions that wouldn't have been changed without using social media. A lot of changes to our life that happen without realization as well. The concept of body image, positive and negative emotions, self-esteem, they all relate to some of the basic psychological and innate functions humans have had since the beginning of time. Embracing social media and technology to this extent has resulted in a change in thoughts and ways of life because it's manipulative and unhealthy to be incorporated into everyday life as social media platforms work eagerly to make money off of our constant usage of these apps. Working on our personal well-being in real life has become lost through showing others what we want them to think that our life is like. As it has done damage to our mental and emotional health already, the first step in changing this is being aware of what social media does to our lives.